Hi, today we'll be taking a look at the new Bermuda Triangle deck from the upcoming Vanguard VG-V-EB15. Today we'll be featuring the Raindear Highlander deck. Right, so for new players, Highlander basically means a deck where every card is a single copy. Right, even though there's some cards with multiple copy in the deck, such as the Triggers and also Raindear. Right, but overall this is called as a Highlander. So we will start off with the main Vanguard, which is Raindear. So when this card is in the deck, continuous. When revealed by a card effect, this is treated as a trigger unit instead. Next, as a Vanguard, when this unit attacks after the battle, discard 2, reveal top 10. If all the normal units among them have different name, write up to one card other than Raindear. Shuffle the deck. During this turn, that unit get drive -1. At the end of the turn, return that unit back to bottom deck, and from your soul, write a grade 3 in rest. Alright, do take note that because this is treated as a trigger unit, so even if I were to review, let's say 3 copy of Raindear among the 10, right, it's not counted as a duplicate unit. That's how it works how it makes the Highlander actually works. Next will be our supporting grade 3. We have Lupina, which is a good right target for Raindear, as when it attacks, you can counter +1, stand all rear guards on the circle with a force marker. Alright, we will ignore the first effect since it's activated during main phase. Next, Anji. So when it attacks the Vanguard, counter +1, return any amount of normal units on rearguard circle back to hand, and activate the following. Right, so definitely a good right target. Tira. So may not be a very good right target. Right, since but it's definitely a good target for Anju to call when you return 4 or more units. Not the best target for rewriting, but definitely a good target to be called out by Anjay. Next, we have Kotere. So enters the Vanguard rearguard circle, declare a name, review the top of the deck, review until you either find the card that you declared, or you find 2 units of the same name, normal unit with the same name. So even if I were to find 2 Raindear, since it's counted as trigger unit, it will continue to flip on. Right, so once stop, add the normal unit back to into hand and shuffle the deck. Right, this is for us to call out whatever we need on the field. Next will be the Great Force. So our main feature will be Olivia. So when it attacks the Vanguard, choose up to 5 of a rear guard, and if all of them have different name, stand them. If you stand 3 or more during this battle, this unit get critical +1. Alright, so since this is a Highlander, we'll definitely have different names, so it works very well in this deck. Next we have Eve. Alright, so once again we feature on the second one. So all your trigger effects, the power and critical addition is doubled. So your critical trigger will be power plus 20k and 2 crit. Aneshka, this is our prime rewrite target. So enters the field, review top 10, and shuffle the deck. If all the normal units among them have different name, you get 1 force, 1 excel, and 1 protect. Right, definitely our prime right target. Raura, when it enters the Vanguard circle, once again review the top 10, and if all the normal units among them have different name, you can call any amount on the rearguard circle, and each of them get power plus 10,000. Right, so this is a good finisher. Next, Irina. Right, this is a target that we will not want to write with Raindear effect, but it's actually a good finisher. So when it enters the Vanguard circle, look at top 10, review. If all of them have different name, at the end of the battle of the first attack during this turn, stand this unit and shuffle the deck. right? So we have a Vanguard with withstanding and without a minus of your trigger. So this is not our right target for Raindear, but definitely a good finisher in the deck. Next, for grade 2 and grade 1s, they are basically one copy each with different function in the deck. So example for Aqua would be to return our rearguards back to hand, so they can re-trigger their effect, and if there's a unit in the same column, you get power plus 5000. So that's our attacker. Perla, when there's Perle, all your Perle get power plus 20k and crit plus 1. You can have one in the deck. So with the help of Anjay and Quitele, we will high chance of us having this on the field. Raindear, if your opponent have caught a total of 2 or more on the Guardian Circle during this turn, get power plus 15k. For each face down damage card in your damage zone, this unit get plus 2k. And if the attack hits a Vanguard and all cards in your damage zone is face down, you can soul plus 2 any amount of time. For every 2, you get to counter charge 1. Mirada, this is not a must play, but it's an interesting card. When it enters the Vanguard circle, counter plus 1, draw 1, look at top 7 and write another grade 2. So you can actually, from Raindear right onto this, to write another unit if you want, for whatever reason. Right, so Lizelote, to fill out our field and to increase the soul. Metle, after attacking battle, counter plus 1 put into soul, draw 1, and one of you unit get power plus 5k. Octiana, get power plus 3k for each of your Vanguard's crit, and start with your right phase, retire this unit. When a unit enters the Vanguard circle during this turn, this unit get power plus 5k. If it's a grade 3 and above, you get the soul plus 3 and draw 2. Sistico, so if any rearguard get returned back to hand, this unit get plus 10k. And when it enters the rearguard circle, you can choose a normal unit from your drop zone back to bottom deck. If it's a grade 3 and above, paralyze one of your opponent's rearguard. So since this deck have so many grade 3 and 4, definitely a good to have in the deck. Sedona, grade 3 searcher, power plus 5k for if you have another unit in the same column. Sticia, for returning of grade 3 and also to draw. Perle, to work with Perla, it gives it power plus 18k and critical plus 1. When every time you shuffle the deck by a card effect, you get power plus 5k, which is very, very frequent in this deck. Tirmina, so when you G assist and need to remove a card from play, you can, instead of returning 2 cards, you can put this card into soul instead. Next, Aurora, to change our hand cards. Esto, enters a rearguard circle, discard a total of 2 different, a total grade 3 with different name, search for grade 4, add to hand and shuffle the deck. Ravel, plus 10k if your opponent have card with 2 or more cards during this turn. Akura, enters the Vanguard circle, reveal a grade 4, return any amount of your hand back to bottom deck, draw the same amount and shuffle the deck. Right, Ratoka, to search card. Right, so that's the basic for the deck. Let's take a look at the gameplay. Right, so today we will shuffle and just play alone. New sleeve, so it's pretty slippery. Right. So let's say we'll go as the second player today. So draw 5. We'll return 3 cards. Right, so for Highlander deck, there's actually many different versions. You can actually throw your melody unit inside. It actually works. So one copy of each melody. Right, so it depends on your playstyle. Right, so it's very rare where you find 2 Highlander deck that look exactly the same. Right, the base may be similar, but choices will depend on the player itself. Right, so second player, draw. So first of all, we'll write a grade 1, draw 1, quick shoot to hand. Alright, so Vanguard attacks, trigger check, so play, and most of the time the first attack will hit, so once hit I get to draw 1. Right, and turn. So opener will go into grade 2. Let's say we take 2 damage during this turn. First damage, second damage. Withstand. Draw again. So now we go into grade 2. Right, at this point of time, there's not really a need for us to fill up the field. So we just attack and end our turn. Trigger check, critical trigger. Right, so now it's our opponent turn. So they just reach into grade 3. So let's say we cancel the first attack. Discarding this. Right, next, since Ultimate is useless, we can actually guard with it if we want. So let's say we only take 1 damage during this turn. Right, go to grade 3, stand and draw. So we're going to Raindear. So force marker. So we have Burley on the field. Let's go with this. Right, so we will attack with Raindear first. Twin drive. Right, after battle, discard 2 cards from hand. Let's say we discard 2 of them. Reveal 10 cards from the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so for the normal units among them, right, they're all different. So I get to write one of them. Sorry. Right. So we managed to write the prime target with his unrestricted card. Right, shuffle the deck. Right, so once again, review 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, so for the normal units among them, they're all different. So I get 1 force, 1 excel, and 1 protect. So shuffle. So I get 1 excel, put here, 1 force. I can actually choose to let's say put on top of the excel if I want, and protect marker to hand. Right, so that's our hand. Guard attack. Single drive. Right. So this turn my opponent should have guard for at least twice. With 2 cards, so power plus 10k. So this is a 28k attack. So at the end of turn, return this back to bottom deck. Right, Reindeer on top. So I get another force marker. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake. When I write this, actually I get 1 more force marker. So right now I ran out of force marker. So I should have 1 more force marker just now, which I can just place on the Vanguard circle. Right, that was a mistake. So that's 6 marker in 1 turn. Right, so opponent's turn. You can choose to Sentinel. Let's say I take 2 damage, critical plus 10. Critical plus 10 to Vanguard again. Right, so end of turn. Draw. Right, so I get another force marker. So I put here. And enter the field. From my drop, choose a grade 3 buff. Then back to deck. And paralyze an opponent's rear guard. Actually, I can call it here if I want. So, Vanguard attack. Twin drive. Draw trigger. Draw 1. Power plus 10k here. So once again I'll discard 2. Look at top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, of course they'll be different. So I can write anything. So let's say I'll write, since I do not have a better target, Terra. Which give me another force marker. Put it here. And using an effect, I'll declare, since I have Perlay here, I'll search for Perla. So I will review the top. Right, Perla. Add it to your hand and shuffle the deck. Right, in the case that you forget the full name of the unit, as long as both you and your opponents have a common knowledge of the name, let's say I declare a grade 3 Revere. Alright, even though I do not have the full name, as long as both player acknowledge the name, it works. Add this to a hand. Single drive. Draw trigger again. Draw 1. 10k to rear. And attack. Alright, so that's our new Highlander deck from VG-V-EB15.